Hello and welcome to 3dmotive.com. My name is Matt Tardiff and I work primarily as a freelance animator while also teaching game animation under the game art department at Full Sail University. So today we are going to talk about sockets. And basically sockets at their core definition, sockets are used to attach objects to a character inside of Unreal. So for a gun, backpack, hat, rocket boots, anything that is not bound to the character, does not belong to the character, absolutely to the character, we'll use sockets to attach those objects to. And we'll also use them, use Blueprint to communicate with these sockets to turn things on and off, to attach maybe a weapon that exists in the world that the character can run over there and pick it up. This is all dealing with sockets. And sockets can also produce or emit particles, which we'll take a look at as well. So the only reason why I'm in Maya is to just show you quickly how to set up an attachment joint. An attachment joint is going to be a joint that belongs to the bind part of the skeleton. It's going to be part of the bind pose, and something that you'll generally set up initially, but in case you forgot or just didn't need to have it at the time, it's something that needs to belong to the skeleton as well. It needs to be part of its hierarchy and part of the bind pose or part of the bind mesh, but not influencing it at all. And these attachment joints are where we're going to, it's what I'll connect the gun to when I'm animating. I can animate the attachment joints. And then when I get into Unreal and I'm attaching the socket to that and then playing the animation through and whatnot, I'm getting ahead of myself though. The only thing I need to do very quickly is to create a joint, change the radius, I guess actually show joints, that would help, and come over here and go ahead and just vert snap it to get it into the place quickly. And I'll just move this over here, and it doesn't matter where I have it right now. I'm just going to take that, shift select the hand joint, hit P, good to go, it's parented, yay, it's a child rather. And now no matter what my hand joint does, that follows obviously. But it's not part of the joint, or it's not part of the bind mesh yet. So again, very quickly, it's super simple, take the joint, shift select the mesh, and it would be under the animation skin add influence, but I'm just using this anyway. And under skin animation or animation skin add influence, you have to make sure that the locked weights is turned on and that the default value is set to 0. So you'll see what I mean here. Under add influence, option box, make sure locked weights is on and default weight is 0. So again, I select this, shift select the mesh, come over to skin, add influence, locked weights, 0 weight. Okay, and that is all for now with Maya, and next let's jump right into Unreal. Alright, so we made it to Unreal safely in our epic journey, and I've already got all the character stuff set up. I'm not going to bother going into that. It's going to load up my base character, and let's take a look at his skeleton and go under show bones. So this here is the bone that we had created. This is the right-handed version of it, and this is the bone that we're going to attach the socket to. So let's go ahead and hide bones. And here is the joint socket right hand weapon. So I'm going to right click on that, add socket, and I'll name it right hand cannon. Okay, and then I can right click on that to add a preview mesh and just say add preview mesh. I know I named the weapon hand cannon, and there we go. So now we've had that selected. I'm not going to bother adjusting it in here because I need it to follow the grip that the character has throughout the animations. So I'm going to come over here to animation, choose the idle animation, go back over to skeleton, and I'll hit pause. So I'm not going to burden you with me putting this into the right position. So I will pause and be right back. Okay, so it's, relatively in the right place for now. And I press play. It stays there, and it's part of his animation, so yay! Okay, so the next thing very quickly is I'm going to grab one of his eyes, socket right eyeball, add preview asset, and I chose fire just to get an idea of how the fire might look. And see, it's going forward, so then I can grab the socket and change its rotation, or change the direction the fire is heading, which is cool. Alright, so let's jump into the blueprint and kind of give you an idea of how to set something like this up. Okay, so we're back in the editor section, and before we do anything, since we have the hand cannon, and this is going to go for the same for the special effects, since we have the hand cannon is what we have connected to the character, then before I do the blueprints, I need to drag the hand cannon into the world, and I'm going to push it underneath so it disappears, and then go to Blueprints, Open Level Blueprint, and keep that gun selected. So this is already set up, so I'll talk about that in a minute, but what you'll do initially is right-click in the world, go to Attach, and it'll be attached to a component, and since you have the hand cannon selected, it was automatically sent to the target, and you want to make sure, just a couple of things, your attached location type is going to be snap to target. Your socket name is going to be whatever you named it in the skeletal mesh. So if we named it, I mean not the bone, but the actual socket, so pretty sure we named it right hand cannon. Conan, whatever. So that part, that's it. Now once you have that set up, disappear. This is how everything starts to go together. So once I have that set up, I'm going to then right click and create an event begin play and connect it to that, and then right click and choose get player character, and then drag this off and select get mesh. And then at that point, you can take get mesh and tie it into in parent. You can hit play, and you'll see the character with the gun. And to go even further, once you have the special effects in there, the same thing is going to go with, have to find as long as you started up the starter content, you go to particles and select, I think it was fire, I think, and make that disappear as well. When you come in here, you do it through the same process, right click, attach actor to component, you'll see the particle effects right here, FX torch fire, and the only extra things you need to do is name the socket, right boom, left boom, snap to target, and the only other thing we're going to do from the previous, the mesh, is just make sure you tie it into in parent, and daisy chain these together. So drag that into that, and then that one into this one, and dun dun dun, we've got a character with a gun and fire. His fire's on fire, and he's got a gun in his hand. So hopefully now you understand sockets, at least a little bit more about them at a basic level, that you can jump into Unreal, maybe get it started with Maya, jump into Unreal, start attaching things to the character. Guy's running around with suitcases and boxes and guns and all over his body and fire, and he's just this crazy guy running down the street with all of this crap on him. So I hope you enjoyed yourself. Anyway, that's sockets. I'm Matt, and I'm out. So thank you for choosing 3dmotive.com. Goodbye.